but I needed to prove to myself and probably to some of these really important people in my life, they're like, no, I need to show you what I'm capable of. And walking out of just meaningless fights against guys who disappeared off the face of the earth, they're not real fighters, you know? They're weekend warriors like I was at the time. Knocking those dudes out and coming out and seeing how proud that made all those people and how proud I could be of that was just a massively important time for me, right? And so that first year, that's kind of how it was. And then things went south in the only real important personal relationship that I get to claim, right? And after that, and I think you probably saw the way I fought during that time was, it was an escape for me. Those 15 minutes were the only time that I could focus.
Off, huh?
I could shut off the self-loathing and the stress and the financial problems and the worry about the future and all that stuff. That 15 minutes was the only time I could just go in there and focus on the person across from me. And there's like, I don't know if we've pushed you to this point yet, K. Scott, in the gym, but there's a purity in survival and that survival instinct, that fight or flight that you talk about. There's such a cool moment or collection of moments when there's only one thing to worry about. And I don't know, like in my environment, growing up in Sandy, Utah, you know, like you don't get that. Like you can't find that moment on the street.
Yeah.
You can't find that moment. Maybe if you go rock climbing or something, you can. But like for me, the only place to find that pure distraction and just empty space happened to be when I was fighting another grown man who wanted to hurt me. So fighting for me has been different things at different times.
Well, isn't fighting the most used metaphor in human culture?
It is.
In sports, how many times do people on ESPN say, it's like a 12-round fight?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
everybody talks about fighting as this metaphor.
Yeah.
Well, what you just said, now correct me if I'm wrong, but what you just said was that my biggest fight actually had nothing to do with me actually fighting.
Oh my gosh.
Like I was actually fighting, my biggest fight was outside in my own personal life, and it got to the point where if I'm feeling like I'm losing that fight, this fight was just a timeout and a relief because, let's put it this way, you knew that 15 minutes at some point was going to end, right? You knew, okay, 15 minutes, okay, I'm done. If I'm losing, at least it only lasts for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
In the fight in our own personal lives, that's not always the case.